Hey everybody, Robert from Black Belt Gaming. I'm attempting another playthrough of Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition since I never finished my first playthrough due to a corrupted save game. It looks like I have a different lobby this time or than before, and I'm using different investigators. I have Rita Young the athlete and Father Mateo the priest. I've got my starting items. I thought I'd give the brass knuckles to Rita. The holy water, that certainly seems fitting for the priest. Fire extinguishers. Fire extinguisher. That looks like it can also be used as a weapon. Maybe I ought to give that. I'm going to give that to the priest. The lantern, kerosene lantern. I think I'll give that. You may discard this card. I wonder if that could work in combination with the brass knuckles. Let's give the lantern to Rita too. Flesh ward. Let's give that to our priest. It looks like a healing spell or something. And we've entered the mansion. We're investigating some disappearances. And we've heard a noise over here. And I think I remember what was in there. But let's begin. I think I'll start with maybe doing a little investigating in this first room. Let's have our actually, is this all considered one space? It looks like it is. I think I can immediately search here. Let's do that with Father Mateo. Here's a pile of papers. It says the stars have come into their positions in the cycle of eternity. The Vanderbilt Astronomy Association cordially invites you to a celebratory evening. Gain 1 clue and discard this token. So each investigator has 2 actions. He has 1 more. Whatever I do, it's going to have to be a movement. I'll have him take a step up in this direction. Rita, she heard a crash over this way. I think I'll have her check that out. She's going to explore. It says a ruckus can be heard on the other side, shouting, crashing of pots and pans, and hissing. Alright, we do a little setup here. Well, of immediate concern is she comes face to face with a hunting horror. This sort of snake-like creature. Black and ropey and relentless, this creature flies swiftly, always seeking its quarry. Its ever-changing form is hard to see for mortal eyes. Alright, we need to make a roll here against our willpower. This thing is so unsettling that we need to try to reduce the amount of horror damage that we take. She has 2 successes and a clue, but we're not going to spend that clue token. We'll just take the 2 successes. That's enough to negate the 2 horror damage that she would have suffered. Alright, we've populated the room with clue token or search tokens. The Eugene the butler, he's the one who called. There's a knife on the table, and he is hiding in the kitchen. Rita is allowed to move 1 space, so she moves into the room. So that was her first action, right? Yep, she explored. So she has an additional action. I think it would be to attack this thing. She is going to use her brass knuckles, gaining 2 additional dice when attacking unarmed. So let's make an attack on this thing. We're going to attack unarmed. It says you leap at the creature and hammer it with your fists. She gets to roll strength, and she has a 5. So let's see what she gets here. She has 3 successes, and she gets to roll an additional 2 dice because of those brass knuckles. Let's see if she gets anything else. Nope. So 3 successes here. If you pass, your beatdown seems to affect the beast. The monster suffers 3 damage. That's not bad. And that's going to have to finish her turn. So I bet this thing is going to retaliate in a terrible way. We're in the mythos phase now. Darkness falls. Inky blackness envelops Father Mateo, bringing with it a soft, gentle susurrus. Place darkness in each space in Father Mateo's room. Well, he's not even involved in this melee, but I guess in each space in his room. All of these are in his room, so very dark in the entranceway. He suffers 1 face down horror unless his willpower can negate it, and his willpower is pretty good, actually at 5, and he negates that, so no horror damage to him. However, the hunting horror will attack. It's attacking let's see, I think I missed something here. The hunting horror moves 3 spaces toward the investigator within range. Well, that's her, so I didn't miss anything. It attempts to wrestle us to the floor with its clawed limbs. Strength +1 negates. So I think that means we're rolling 6 dice. So we're going to roll all 5. We have 1 success, and we get to roll 1 more die here. We rolled 2 successes, and then we have a clue token. She'll spend 1 to get the total of 3 successes. Each of those successes is going to cancel a point of damage, so she takes no damage. Now it says we have to make a horror check, so that's going to be Rita. Let's see what kind of horror check this is going to be. Bracing its body against the ground, the abomination heaves and coughs and vomits an unending torrent of blood. The coppery smell overwhelms you. Willpower 2, so I think you need 2 successes here. Her willpower is 4. She's got 3 successes out of the roll. So she passed. It says if you pass, you suffer only some mild nausea. Suffer 1 face down horror and become dazed. 1 face down horror and become dazed. Dazed says you cannot spend clue tokens. At the end of your turn, discard this card. Alright, so it's temporary. Well, Rita's not given up yet. She's going to spend her first action attacking this thing again. And this is going to be with her brass knuckles. You approach the creature, you meet its gaze, and the unknowable alien intelligence you see strikes deep, devouring fear into your heart. You try to preserve and complete your attack. Willpower, we're going to need 2 successes to do this. Her willpower is 4. Now, the interesting thing that I'm assuming this works is that roll 2 additional dice while attacking unarmed. I'm assuming this works. So I'm actually going to not only roll my willpower, but perhaps I'm a little bit further encouraged by the fact I have a weapon. I have 1 success. That's my normal willpower roll. No, I got 2 successes. And let's just see what would happen with the extra 2 dice. Nothing. So we did get the 2 successes. If you pass, you manage to bury the fear long enough to strike at the very eyes that so affected you. The monster suffers 3 damage. Actually, this is going to kill it. The creature lurches to the ground dead. Hearing the monster's final fate, the old man in the kitchen cautiously steps out. Move Eugene. Alright, so we'll get rid of this one. Let's squeak the camera back over here and get Eugene into the room. He's old man. I think I've got more gray hair than Eugene. What does that make me? Alright, so he's in there. Well, I guess for her next action, she will talk to Eugene. He says, "You came just in time. Thank you so much for saving me. My name is Eugene. We spoke earlier. I've heard noises from the tower, but the door is locked. I think something bad is going to happen." She's going to spend her second action asking if he's okay. He puts on a weak smile and they chat for a moment. And he says, "Please take this with you. It's always brought me luck. Gain the lucky rabbit's foot and discard a horror." So that 1 horror that she suffered can go away. And we get the lucky rabbit's foot. Lucky rabbit's foot is once per round we can re-roll a die. Well, hearing that awful ruckus, we'll have Father move 1, 2 spaces and enter the room with Eugene and introduce himself as they're chatting. And I think for his second action he'll talk with Eugene as well. Eugene tells you what happened, that several rogue figures entered the mansion through the side door and took Mr. Vanderbilt to the tower. Soon after they arrived, he could hear some chanting. Let's ask, where is that? So I think this is our priest's second action. The ruffians took Mr. Vanderbilt to the tower. You can get to the tower through the north door of the hall. So I guess that's up this way. But the door is locked. Mr. Vanderbilt keeps the key in his... Wait, I'm not sure if he would want me trusting you with this. Well, Eugene, why did you call us? We have to make an influence roll. Father Mateo has 4 influence. Let's see what kind of result he can get here. We have 2 successes and 2 clue tokens, so that should be enough, I guess. Oh yeah, we just enter in how many we've got. Let's spend an extra clue token to get us 3 successes. So 3 successes. Boom, boom, boom. he says, all right, Mr. Vanderbilt has a hidden office that he often retreats to. The door is hidden in the estate's library, which is through the west door when you get into the hall. Okay. It uses a very strange lock hidden behind a bookshelf. The butler instructs you how to open the secret door, and you gain one clue. Okay, so we gained a clue back. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure where he's talking about. It sounds like it's somewhere over this way. Let's move on. I think we're heading into to end the investigator phase, so we're going to drop this dazed condition. And it says, the sky becomes blood red, though neither the sun nor the moon is visible in the sky. There's no immediate effect. So we're back to the investigators. Now, I still don't know this game so well. So I don't know if I should search everywhere or if I should just push to go to the tower as soon as possible. I think it was talking about finding the key in the study or something, and that's probably the highest priority we can have. So since Rita has the lantern, maybe I'll let her go first. She can move one additional space. Let's have her go 1, 2, and I'm still not sure if I'm going in the right way, but let's go through this door and see where it goes. The door leads deeper into the mansion. The door opens into a dim hallway and winds through the heart of the mansion. Alright, so we've opened up this area around here. Rita enters this room. So that was her movement, and then explore. And I think that's all she can do. Alright, so the butler said again, the door is hidden in the estate's library, which is through the west door when you get into the hall. So I think he's talking about this one right here. So let's work towards that. Just while we're here, I'm going to have Father Mateo search. I don't know if there's anything good. It's a cabinet, and there's little statues and stones and random objects, and you need to find out what they're for or understand what they're for. And it's a lore roll. We're going to be rolling 4 dice. And I got 1 success and 1 clue token. The other 2 are blank. I guess I'll spend 1 and change them into 2 successes. As you dig through the objects, you begin to form a hunch that makes you uneasy. You've heard of objects such as these found at the site of occult rituals. They could prove useful to your investigation. Gain the circumstantial evidence item and 1 clue. Circumstantial evidence. Just a bit more and the case is closed. Alright, I don't really know what this does. I honestly don't know what to expect in the kitchen. I really don't know if there's anything useful in this area or not. There's a knife, but we do have a fire extinguisher that we can use as a heavy weapon, so let's get out of there. Maybe let's move him into the main area, and then let's move him here where the other search token is. Maybe there's something else to be learned. Alright, it's the mythos phase now, and it says whispered voices drift down the halls. Their chanting becomes louder and louder. Rita Young covers her ears and starts banging her head against the wall to get the voices out. Rita Young suffers 1 face-down damage and 1 horror. So the face-down damage I don't think is reducible, but the horror maybe. It says that we can roll her willpower. She has a willpower of 4. And she's got a clue token there. Let's spend her last clue to change that to a success. So she's gonna negate that horror. So we're back to the investigators now. But Rita has no clues. Actually, whoa. Wait a minute. Before I spend that clue, before I spend it, I know I can pass the test. Her lucky rabbit's foot would let her re-roll 1 die. And we got a blank, so it didn't do anything. Alright, so she spent her clue token. Father Mateo is going to search whatever it is over here. An end table. There's a telephone. You try the drawer, but the warped wood has left it stuck shut. We need to make a strength check, and I only have a strength of 3. Oh, I did get 2 clues and 1 success. Let's spend an extra clue token. We're not going to go nuts on this. We're not going to spend 2. But let's add 2 successes to this. With a powerful tug, you open the drawer, causing the phone to go crashing to the ground. Inside the drawer, you find an item that looks like it's been sitting there for quite some time. Gain the bandages common item, and then discard this token. Bandages will allow you to discard 2 face-down damage. Alright, we've got movement left. Let's move 1 space here. Rita will explore this way. I think this was the important place we needed to go. A piece of wood marked library is fastened to the center of the door. That sounds great to me. Alright, let's get the library set up. Alright, Rita just went into the library and a robed figure was pushing a bookshelf back into place. The robed figure draws out a strange idol and begins chanting. Before your very eyes, a terrifying creature appears out of thin air. It's another one of these hunting horrors. The cult member speaks some words into strange language, but the creature turns on him, tearing him to pieces before your eyes. Spawn a hunting horror in the library, then suffer 2 horror. Your willpower, hers is 4, can negate the damage. And she rolled 2 successes there. So she is not further affected, other than still having the headache from bashing her head against the wall. Alright, so she's still in good shape. Let's continue. That was her first action. She has 1 more action. And, you know, right now, she can't attack. She is out of range because hand-to-hand combat, she's going to need to get close. So we know this thing is going to come after her. We know that's going to happen. So let's imagine the timing is a little differently. Let's say that she's searching on this table and then she notices the robed figure. So we're going to have her search. It says there's a large scroll showing a solar system is sprawled across a pile of books. The scroll is marked with the orbits of 8 planets. A straight line is drawn out across them from the sun, marked with today's date and the words planetary alignment. Gain 1 clue. Alright, so she does get a clue. Alright, well, this thing's going to move in and attack her, I am sure. So, here we go. Mythos phase. Father Mateo squints against even the weakest light, and the pain in his head throbs in time with his heartbeat. Strength. And we need 1 success on a strength roll. His strength is only 3. We got nothing. If you pass, it's a headache. If you fail, he clutches his head and vomits violently onto the ground. He suffers 1 face-down damage and drops 2 random items. Alright, I don't know. Can he drop his spell? I don't think so. But let's, I'm going to have to shuffle these under the table because I think the cards have different backs to them. This is what he drops. Holy water and the fire extinguisher are dropped to the floor. He's kept on to his circumstantial evidence and his bandages. Alright, so holy water and fire extinguisher are dropped. Hunting horror. Hunting horror is going to move in, I'm sure, here and attack Rita. The hunting horror moves up to 3 spaces and attacks. The creature's limbs whip out impossibly far and fast. Strength 2. Her strength is 5. And we did get 2 successes. If you pass, you tuck your head down and weather the storm. So, no damage. Alright, so she kept her guard up. Each investigator resolves a horror check. Well, that's her. The creature latches onto its surrounding, tearing them apart. Willpower, and we need 3. That's going to be hard for her. She's got a willpower of 4. Wow, she did it. 3 successes. If you pass, you hold still and it ignores you. Alright. Lucky roll. The Mythos phase is over, and it's back to our heroes. Well, Rita is going to attack this thing. She's going to use her brass knuckles and make an unarmed attack. Attack unarmed. You strike the beast's outstretched limbs, hoping to weaken its ability to strike back. You need a strength, and you need to get 2 successes. She's going to be rolling actually 7 dice here. 1 success and several clues. She still has 2 more dice to roll. So I'm going to put these clues to the side. Got nothing. And then a second success. So she did get her 2 successes. If you pass, the creature's limb recoils from the impact and the monster suffers 2 damage. Alright. Well, I think she's going to spend another round, another action attacking this thing. You leap into the air and kick with your legs out towards the beast. She gets agility roll. She has 4 agility. Wipe out. We do get to roll 2 extra dice due to the brass knuckles. We got 1 success and 1 clue token. We do have our lucky rabbit's foot. We may want to save that. Let's spend her clue token and make that 2 successes. If you pass, the kick carries the full weight of your body behind it and the monster suffers 3 damage. That's going to kill it. She killed it. Again, she's killed 2 of these things. Alright. The father, Mateo, the priest, is going to pick up his dropped items as his first action, and he's going to look at this search token here for his next action. It's a mysterious painting of a landscape under a night sky. You need to make a lore check. He's got 4 lore. Let's see what he can do. 2 clue tokens and 1 success. We're going to have to enter the number of successes that we achieve. I'm going to spend a clue token and make this 2 successes. You identify several specks of light. They are all occupying the same section of the sky as if coming into alignment like the planets tonight. In memory of Lilith Vanderbilt, gain 2 clue tokens and then discard this search token. Okay, we're headed in to the mythos phase. That was a quick turn. 2 attacks on the monster and then picking up dropped items and looking at the picture. Mythos phase. It says the hairs on the back of Rita Young's neck stand up on end. She spins around as a harsh voice calls her name, but there's no one there. She needs to roll her willpower of 4 to try not to be startled or take horror damage. All clue tokens, and she's got none. Well, let's use her lucky rabbit's foot to re-roll one of these. And she gets a single success. So she suffers 1. She suffers 1 horror. And it is... not familiar with this. You are afraid of the darkness. Okay. Whenever you end your turn in a space with darkness, suffer 1 face down horror. Okay. Alright, so she's just really creeped out. Alright, a robed figure bursts in through the entrance and yells, "There's someone here." You hear a muffled response from another part of the estate. "Get rid of them." We have to spawn a cultist. It appeared right here. Got my little handy cultist figure ready. The cultist moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. Well, that's right there with the priest. And then it attacks. The cultist holds its staff aloft, threatening you with it. Observation 2. Uh-oh, our observation is only 2. Hey, we got 2 successes. If you pass, you notice the blade in the other hand and twist it into a counterattack. The monster suffers 1 damage. Great job. Each investigator resolves a horror check. So that's Father Mateo. The cultist steps from the shadows, revealing dark sockets where its eyes should be. A gray worm emerges from one and slithers back into the other. Suffer 2 face-down horror. Willpower, +1, so we get to roll 6 dice here. And each success, yeah, we got plenty of successes, so we're not freaked out. Our faith is strong. Back to the investigators. Alright, we're going to begin with Father Mateo. He's going to attack this cultist with the fire extinguisher, which works as a heavy weapon. I'm really hoping we can get lucky here. Your muscles tense as you throw your weight into your swing. We need, with 3 dice, we need 2 successes. And we can spend a clue token and do that. So he hits him. If you pass, the impact hurls your foe aside. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus your test result. So the fire extinguisher actually hits for 2 damage. So he did 4. He crushed the cultist. Cultist is, well, let's just say he's not a problem anymore. Next, we're going to have, as his second action, we're going to let the priest explore through this. Actually, he doesn't have to. It's already, I guess I can remove that. He doesn't have to do that. So he gets movement now. So he doesn't have to take an action to do that. He can move 2 spaces. 1, 2. There might be something there. We'll go to Rita now. Rita's going to move here. And supposedly she can open this with Eugene's instructions. Peering behind the bookshelf, the robed figure was moving. You see the runic circles inscribed on the wall. You push aside the bookshelf to reveal the ritual circles the butler spoke of. You attempt to trace them as he told you. This is not going to be so good. It uses lore. And I have to arrange this puzzle. And I only have a lore of 3. Let me see what I can do. Alright, I'm using a tablet here, and I've never done this puzzle that I can remember. I got 3 moves to work on it. The best thing I saw here was it looks like a handprint, and I moved 2 things down. I'm going to finish by moving this one over. I think we got it. Puzzle completed. You trace a continuous line through the winding markings as the butler instructed you. The runes illuminate with a strange green light, and the wall panel pops open, revealing a secret door to a hidden study behind the wall. You gain a clue token. Alright, I don't remember finding this before, so pretty happy about this. We're into the the office. Maybe I found it when I did my first playthrough, but I honestly don't remember. Alright, it's actually time for the mythos phase now. The room gets very cold and the lights become blindingly bright. Your ears pop as every light in the room burns out. Place darkness in each space in the library. This is terrible for Rita. She is afraid of the dark. Place darkness in each space in the library. Each investigator in the library suffers 2 horror. And you have to roll willpower +1 to negate this. Okay, she doesn't have a light source. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. She is carrying the kerosene lantern. Whew! Lucky for her, she's got that. Alright, so anyway, the lights pop and burn out. 2 horror, but willpower +1. So she's going to be rolling 5 dice here. Willpower +1 negates. So for each success, and we've got 2 of them, we negate the horror. So she's alright. And thankfully, because she has the kerosene lantern, I thought I'd given that to the priest, but she has it. She is alright. So let me double check. Yeah, it clearly says an investigator in a space with a light source. Ignore darkness. So she, as far as I understand it, is not going to be faced with her needing to face her fear. She's got her lantern. So she is alright. We're back to the investigators now. This is getting important. Let's start with the priest here. He's going to search this table right in front of him. Stack of papers. Amidst the mundane paperwork, you find a weathered page covered with a strange script. Someone has scrawled a note. Speak these words for great power. He's going to return those papers. You gather the papers and place them neatly on the table. Beneath the clutter, you discover an address book. A number of the names have been marked with a star. Gain 1 clue. Alright, so we're not getting into that dark magic stuff. No thank you. This is Lovecraftian horror. Leave that stuff alone. Alright, so Rita... No, the father isn't done. That was his first action. What do we want to do here? Rita's going to have to come out of there. I don't see any other doors up in her area. So wherever we need to go, I think it's this way. So let's have Father Mateo move over there. And then we'll go to Rita. Rita's going to search. She's going to move into this space and search here on the desk. The oak desk has been kept in good condition. A number of papers and books are stored on the surface. On the desk you find what looks like a personal planner. As you pick up the book, a brass key, yay, clatters from between the pages. You turn to the page it had been holding and find a note. If the alignment truly weakens the veil, I believe that it is the only moment we have to break through. I will make the necessary preparations in the tower. Gain the brass key and the incriminating evidence. You place the planner back onto the desk and search through the drawers. You find some things of use, but no additional evidence. Gain the Elder Ward common item. So this says roll 1 additional die while a monster is attacking you. Alright, we're headed into the mythos phase. Father Mateo suddenly stumbles and falls into a pit that extends deep into the earth. After falling for what feels like a lifetime, he slams hard onto the ground where he started. Suffers 2 damage and 1 horror. So the damage is done, and it says 2 damage, not face down damage, but 2 damage. Damage number 1 is a back spasm. Drop 1 random item and then flip this face down. He just keeps dropping his stuff, doesn't he? Alright, what did we drop? We dropped the circumstantial evidence. And what does the second one say? Minor injury, no additional effect. Put this face down. So he's taken 3 of 6 damage. Then he needs to roll observation, which is only a 2 for him. Plus 1, so he rolls 3. To try not to be horrified, and he does get 1 success. So the horror is reduced. So no horror damage. Investigator phase. Alright, Rita's going to move, and she's going to search there on the, I guess it's a shelf. The shelf is lined with curiosities from the mundane to the horrifying. As you scan over the various items, your eyes fall on an urn marked Lilith. You pick up the urn and find it filled with ashes. So I can choose to smash the urn? Why would I do that? Why would I smash the urn? I'm going to say leave the urn. So that didn't take, I guess that didn't take my... So smashing the urn takes an action. So I still have movement, I guess. So we moved 1, 2, 3. She can move 3 on her turn, and she's going to move again. 1, 2, 3, because she can move 3 on her turns. So I just basically tapped on the search option, but I didn't take an action. So I think I'm fine to keep moving. I just looked at it and kept going. I didn't do anything with it. So I think that's right. Let's go to the priest. He's going to pick up his evidence and mumble to himself as he keeps dropping everything. And then he's going to what? Search? Maybe search here? A desk sits against the wall. I don't know. I wonder if we just ought to push forward. We've got the key. Tell you what, let's let's explore. Let's go this way, if we can. You suspect it leads to a bedroom. Maybe I don't want to go that way. What's up the other way? A weathered door stands at the end of the hall. I think that's where I want to go. So we're gonna try to push north here. You hear bizarre noises on the other side of the door. When you try the handle, you find the door is locked. A keyhole sits beneath the brass door. You can explore only if you have the brass key item. Well, Father Mateo doesn't. He doesn't. Rita has it. So, yeah, he's going to have to search here for his action. He can't explore there yet. You attempt to unlock the combination lock on the drawers. Use your observation to do this. I'm terrible at observation. Alright, I've attempted my 2 guesses. And I'm thinking that the 3 and the 5 may be correct, because I've gotten 2 are correct, and then again 2 are correct. And the only one I changed is the middle one. So I think I'm going to spend a clue token to do this again. Alright, I've typed in 325. That's still not right. So maybe a number is repeating or something. Alright, we'll try 335. Nope. Alright, this is my last clue token. Alright, we got it. It says you figure out the combination and the drawer pops open with an audible click. Inside you find a grotesque statue of an octopod dragon and something else that might be of use. Gain the lucky cigarette case, the grotesque stone, and 1 clue. Alright, so that's gone. And each of our heroes has 1 clue token left. Let's go. We're going to have to go to the mythos phase now. I'm sure something horrible is going to show up. The walls seem to close in around you. This mythos event affects each investigator in an alley or a hall. Well, that's both of us. You cower against the wall, clutching your head and rocking back and forth. Suffer 2 horror, willpower +1 negates. Let's roll for Rita first. She has 1 success and let's roll. We're going to re-roll due to her rabbit's foot, right? She has the rabbit's foot, doesn't she? Yeah, lucky rabbit's foot. We're going to re-roll. She gets a clue token again. Not what I wanted. I wanted 2 successes. Alright, we'll spend her clue token. I don't know. We may want to save that. No, she's going to spend... She's going to spend it. We're going to get 2 successes and negate that. Let's go for our priest. He's actually going to get to roll 6 dice. He's got 2 successes. Everybody's okay. A robed figure appears from the side door. The cultist is back. And he's fallen off his stand. Alright, we're going to go standless and put the cultist here. And it says a robed figure appears. There's someone here. Get rid of them. And he's going to start making his way. Oh, Eugene. Okay, so Eugene was there. He's like, wah! and he runs all the way over here. The robed figure sneaks into the dining room and comes face to face with Eugene. The butler yells in fright and flees into the entranceway. Alright, the cultist moves 2 spaces near the closest investigator. Alright, it'll take him a little while to get to us. No investigators in this space. And we don't need to do a horror check. So, we're good. Alright, we're going to move Rita 1 space and unlock the heck out of this door. She's got the item. Not what I expected. As you open the door to the tall tower, the stairs and walls creak as if exhaling beneath the dusty air. Boxes and other objects are piled against the walls, and a massive circle of runes has been carved into the floor beneath the bell. Alright, let me start setting this up. Well, there is an axe in there, and 2 cultists are chanting, and one of them is in a trance, but the other one is dangerous. And something else is in there. The other figure lowers the hood of his robe and points at you with an ornate dagger. Excellent. Eugene has prepared the sacrifices. Spawn the priest of Dagon as indicated. This is William Vanderbilt. What? Eugene the butler rips a length of wood from a door to use as a weapon. Discard Eugene and spawn a child of Dagon as indicated. This is Eugene. He's transformed into something. Alright, this horrid looking thing is now Eugene. Man, I thought we were helping Eugene out. Alright, this blue thing here. The ritual circle on the ground is scattered with candles, skulls, and other trinkets. If you could get these ritual components, you could stop the cult's vile magics and have enough proof to condemn the Vanderbilt family. Place an interact token as indicated. So if you could get these ritual components, you could stop the vile magics. Alright? You may move 1 space. Alright, I already moved Rita in there. You must interrupt the ritual taking place before it is completed. That's the plan. Okay. So Rita moved a space and then she explored. So I think her turn is actually over. Okay. I think her turn is over. So let's bring in the priest. He's going to move 1 here and 1 here. He's going to go right up to these guys. And I'm going to tap on this token and see what I can do. This may be suicide. Give me your stuff! A ritual circle is carved into the ground and scattered with components. You attempt to retrieve the components, but a malign energy protects them. Disrupt the ritual. Yep, that's what I'm going to try. Using your gut and scraps of knowledge you have gathered, you attempt to remove the items without triggering the defensive magic. You have to roll against lore. You may discard any number of evidence to convert an equal number of clues to successes. So I am carrying one piece of evidence, and she has the other one. Okay. Alright, so I think we're going to have to make a very important roll here. We have to roll lore. And we have 4 in lore. And we have the statue too. So we have statue and circumstantial evidence. That's 2 pieces. Let's see what we can do. Alright, we've rolled 2 successes and a clue token. Let's spend our clue token and make that 3 successes. And then we're going to discard a piece of evidence. Oh, sorry. I don't need to discard my clue token. That doesn't work. We'll discard a piece of evidence to convert an equal number. So we'll discard this circumstantial evidence. We'll discard that to make that a success. So 3 successes. Carefully performing each step, you remove the components from the circle. Wait a minute. I wonder if I did this incorrectly. I just moved into an area where there are 2 enemies. I don't think I'm resolving this correctly. Alright, I think I may have made a mistake. I'm trying to make an evade action, and it's the one with the highest awareness, and that would be the priest. He has an awareness of 4. So what you're doing is the investigator selects the monster from the monster, okay, and does it evade. I think I may have goofed up here. Let me try to resolve this as best I can. An evade action. It actually has to go through the app. So I made an error here, and I don't see any way to go back. Rats. Well, just for the sake of argument, let's continue forward and see what happens. I've never done an evade check like that, so beginner's mistake. It says, carefully performing each step, you remove the components from the ritual circle. Almost immediately, some of the malign energy seems to fade from the air around you. You've put an end to the cultist's vile scheme. Gain the ritual component's unique item and then discard the interactive token. Okay. Alright, it says we need to get this ritual component evidence. Unique item. It says the investigation is complete if an investigator escapes the mansion with the ritual component's unique item. Investigators win the game when the investigation is complete. We have to place an explore token down here, so we've got to get out alive. I think I can still make this work even though I goofed. So I'm going to attempt an evade action right now. Let's say that the priest has picked it up. I know this is not the right order, but let's say that I've picked up these items and I need to evade the Mr. Vanderbilt here. Vanderbilt lunges at you as you turn away. Roll agility, and you need to get 2 successes. I have an agility of 3. And I got 2 successes. If you pass, you sidestep. Very good. So what we did is fine. We just did it in the wrong order, but it did happen okay. And what we needed to do that I'm learning is we're taking an action in a space with a monster that's not an attack or not a move, and you need to do an evade check, and we did. Alright, I think now we're in for a world of hurt. we're going to end the investigator phase. We've got the evidence in our hands. We just need to get out. Mythos phase begins. The corridor in front of you twists and stretches on forever, impossibly long, impossible. Each investigator in a hall or an alley. And we're not. We're both in the tower. So we don't have to worry about that. The cultist is right there and attacks the priest. The cultist swings a staff wildly about with great fervor and little skill. Suffer 2 face-down damage, and agility can negate this damage. So cultist is panicking. We've got our agility of 3. He's going to do 2 damage. Each success we get will cancel 1. We rolled 1 clue. Let's take our lucky cigarette case that we got out of the drawer. And once per round, you may convert a clue into a success. So that gives us 1 success. And I think that's all we can do. So we take 1 face down damage, giving us a total of 4 out of our 6. Okay. The cultist moves 2 spaces and then attacks the investigator with the highest strength. The cultist moves 2 spaces toward the investigator and attacks the investigator towards the nearest investigator. Well, that's again, is he attacking twice here? Let me check the record here if I did something wrong. The monster attacks. The cultist swings wildly. Alright. It attacks each investigator in its space. Alright. It did that. So why is it attacking again? Maybe it's attacking twice. The cultist moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. Well, we're still in his space. So then it attacks the one with the highest strength. Well, that's still the priest. Swings at your ankles. Dexterity again can negate this. So it's another attack. We got 2 successes, so we've negated the damage. Vanderbilt moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. And that's us. He's going to attack the priest. A pale hand darts out from under Vanderbilt's cloak and grabs your neck. You claw at the ghoulish hand as it crushes your windpipe. Strength can negate any damage that you suffer, so we're rolling 3 here. We're going to spend a clue token and change that to 2 successes. So it says if you suffer 2 or more damage, which we didn't. We only suffered 1 face down damage, taking us to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's taken 5 out of 6. Eugene moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. Alright, Eugene's way down here. 1, 2. He's trying to cut off our escape. No investigators in the space. Each investigator must resolve a horror check. Well, I assume that's probably due to... Yeah, it's going to be Vanderbilt is the worst. Vanderbilt rolls up a sleeve to reveal a row upon row of fish hooks that are buried in pallid, fishy flesh, forming an obscene sigil. Suffer 2 face down horror. Willpower -1. So Rita's rolling 3. She gets 1 success and 2 clue tokens. We get to use our Elder Ward here for Rita. Roll 1 additional die while a monster is attacking you. So let's roll this extra. We got a blank. That didn't help us. Anything else? Lucky Rabbit's Foot for Rita. Reroll a die. We got a clue token. We don't have any clue tokens to spend, so we're going to be suffering 1 face down horror damage for her. That gives her 2 out of her 5. And then we've got to go with the priest. The priest willpower is 5. He's going to be rolling 4 dice. 1 success. And I think I already used my lucky cigarette case, didn't I? So I think he's going to be taking 1 face down horror. That's his first, actually. So my miniature battles gaming experience makes me want to fight all these guys, but that's not what I need to do. I just need to get out. Let's see if we can evade Vanderbilt and get the priest out of that space and get him moving. We were lucky last time that it didn't ruin our game. Let's try this again. Vanderbilt waits until your attention is diverted and tries to stab you with a knife. Suffer 2 damage, observation -1. My observation is 2. I roll a single die. I do get a success, so I do suffer 1 damage, however. This may be an issue. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. And Father Mateo can suffer 6. This is his 6th point of damage, and this one appears to be, I have no fingernails. This one appears to be face up. Broken arm. So I guess we're stabbed in the arm. Maybe it hit the bone. If you ever have more than 2 items, drop all but 2 of your items. Oh boy. It's kind of easier to tell you what I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep the ritual components and the lucky cigarette case. And I'm going to drop all this other stuff in the space with the cultists. It looks like Father Mateo has also become wounded. So I'm going to draw that condition card. You cannot perform the move action more than once. Oh, that kills us. That slows us down. We're wounded, and I think we discard all of our wounds that were face down. Alright, so I think we keep the broken arm, but all the other damage goes back into the pile. And we're slowed down from the wound. But I think we continue with what we were trying to do, and he was just trying to get out of there. He can move 2 spaces, so he moves 1, 2, and he gets to here. And we can take another action but that I can't really think of anything else he'd want to do. We just need to get by Eugene the betrayer. So let's go to Rita. Rita is by far the healthier of the two right now. She's going to move and I wonder if she should take on Eugene. Is it cheating for me to look? Eugene's not that tough, I don't think. She's going to clear the way. She's going to move in and engage in combat with Eugene. Alright. So let's engage with Eugene here. We're going to attack Eugene with we're going to be using our brass knuckles. As you grapple your foe, you attempt to lift it off its feet. Strength, you need 2 successes. She has a 5 strength. She's rolling, however, some extra dice, thanks to the brass knuckles. That's 3 successes. If you pass, your enemy struggles, and you heft him into the air and hurl him with a grunt. The monster and another monster in its space suffer damage equal to your test result. That's 3. Oh, Eugene has 8 hit points. I thought he only had 2. Well, maybe normally they do, but Eugene is an absolute beast. So 3. And he's fine. Wow. Eugene is stronger than I thought. He's really going to slow us down. Well, that's that. Let's go to the investigator phase. Something moves in the darkness. This mythos event affects each investigator in a space containing darkness. Alright, there's no darkness here. Cultist moves 2 spaces and attacks the one who suffered the most damage. Well, that's unfortunately the priest. The cultist utters a low incantation and a strange foul-smelling mist forms in the air. Observation, and I need 2 successes. Cigarettes. Once per round you may convert. Well, it just says convert 1, not all. So that's not going to help us. A strange fouling mist forms in the air. If you pass, you recognize the danger. If you fail, your old wound reopens and fester. Flip 2 damage face up. I don't have any additional damage, but it says we become dazed. Dazed says you cannot spend clue tokens. Alright. Let's continue. How is this cultist so are there 2 cultists? Is that what I'm missing? I guess so. There's a second cultist. I think that's what I'm missing. So there is an additional cultist running around. Oh, that's this guy. I've totally forgot moving him. I'm going to put him right there. I think I made a mistake before. And I had the same occultist attack twice. I actually made it worse on myself. So we're going to move him 2 spaces and end that there. Alright, beginner's error again because I didn't have a big piece on the board. That's what it was. Alright, I've added slowpoke here to the board. We'll say no investigators in the space, since we had the other investigator attack twice before. Vanderbilt. Well, he's not missing out on the fun. He moves up 2 spaces. And he's going to attack the priest as well. Vanderbilt weeps and approaches, begging you for forgiveness and displaying empty hands. Alright, this is bull. Observation. We've got 1 success. Can't spend clue tokens. If you pass, nope. If you fail, we did fail, your foe leaps forward when you approach, planting a fist below your jaw. Suffer 2 face down damage. And that takes us to 3 damage total. And we become stunned as well. They are brutal. Eugene is going to attack Rita. Eugene turns to you and fixes you with a revolting gaze, blinking with impossible membranous lids. Willpower and 3 successes. She's got a willpower of 4. And just clue tokens, that's not enough. Lucky Rabbit's Foot's not going to do anything. If you fail, you startle and jump back, stumbling to the ground, suffering 2 damage. And this is not face down damage. First one says lightheaded. Flip 1 horror face up, then flip this card face down. Flip 1 horror face up. It says frayed nerves. Keep face up. Roll 1 fewer die when resolving willpower. Next one, grim resolve. Become focused. Alright, Rita's digging deep and finding her courage. Maybe it's just survival instinct. She's focused now. You may discard this card to convert all clues to successes. And by the way, I forgot, she needs to roll an extra die. That wouldn't have helped her. An extra die for when being attacked by a monster. Alright, it's horror check time, and this is a horrible time. Let's see. I think you choose the worst one that's in range. So let me figure this out. Alright, well, I guess the priest needs to resolve his horror check against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt begins to clap. The sound grows more muddied with each repetition, and you feel the pressure of water in your ears, and a deep churning sound threatens to overwhelm your senses. Suffer 2 horror. Willpower +1 negates. Alright, we've negated that. And Rita needs to resolve a horror against Eugene. Eugene's throat swells to a disgusting size before letting loose a horrifying screech. The noise rattles your teeth and twists your stomach. Willpower +1, so she's rolling 5. You know, it's normally 4. It's -1 for frayed nerves, but +1 due to the Elder Ward, so it's 5. Let's see, 4 goes down to 3, 3 goes up to 4, so it's 4 dice. And she gets 2 successes, so actually 3 successes, so all horror is negated. Good. Let's get out of here. Alright. Our priest is no longer dazed, but he is stunned. And that only gives him one action for this turn. So he needs to evade again, because these guys are chasing him down. And I think it's Vanderbilt he needs to evade. Let me check the rules again. Alright, so our priest needs to get out of there from Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt begins shouting for help. You may forfeit your action to stop the screams. If you do not forfeit your action, move each other monster one space toward you. Okay. Well, it can't get too much worse. One. Alright, so we're crowding in here. And this drunken cultist can't stand. Alright, so everybody's crowded around the priest because he has the evidence. And that was his evade. So he's going to move here. And now he has to evade the cultist. Cultist number 2. The cultist leaps into the air, attempting to tackle you. Agility, which is 3, right? Need 2 successes here. We got 1. If you fail, the cultist collides with you, pushing you to the floor, suffer 1 damage, and forfeit your action. 1 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4 damage on the priest. But I don't think we're really stunned anymore, so we can take that off. Alright, we're going to go to Rita now. Rita is going to spend her first action as a trade action, and she's going to take the ritual components out of the priest's possession since he's been tackled to the floor. She's going to attempt to evade. I guess she has to evade the cultist to do that. So let's evade this cultist again, because we're taking an action that's not a move. The cultist whips a long staff through the air. We need agility. Agility's 4. 1 success. All we need is 1 success. Or we get to roll 1 extra die when a monster... he's not attacking. It's not an attack. It's an evade. Lucky Rabbit's Foot. We're going to use it to re-roll 1 die. We get it a success. If you pass, you duck under the staff and it flies over your head. Alright, so she gets to complete her action and get the ritual components. Alright, I think Rita needs to evade a second time, because she's going to attempt to move out of there. The cultist harasses you with a series of quick blows. Suffer 2 face-down damage. Agility +1 can negate. She gets 3 successes, so no damage to her. So she can keep going. She's got a movement of 3, so 1, 2, and then she's at the door. She's got the evidence, and she's at the door. If she can survive one more round, we can win the game. This is it. Last turn, I think. A spell leaps unbidden into your mind. It affects the character with the lowest willpower. That's Rita. You attempt to decipher the spell. Lore. Her lore is 3. 1 success. She did it. If you pass, you realize that it would be a terrible idea to use this spell. So we're all right. Next, cultist number 1 moves in there with the priest and attacks. The cultist tackles you and tries to pin you to the floor. Strength. You need 2 successes. He got 2 successes. If you pass, you elbow your enemy in the chest, and the monster suffers 1 damage. Alright, cultist number 2. He's in our space already. Attacks. The cultist approaches you with confidence, wearing a demented smirk. The cultist grabs you with both hands and attempts to overpower you. Gotta pass and get 2 successes. We got him. If you pass, you redirect your attacker's momentum, and the monster suffers 1 damage. Vanderbilt. He's coming in too. It's getting crowded here. Monster attacks. Vanderbilt weeps and approaches, begging you for forgiveness. He's doing this again. Observation. Observation is only 2. We didn't do it. If you fail, he leaps forward, planting a fist below your jaw. Suffer 2 face-down damage. That takes us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. I think that kills him. Alright, this is close. So he is eliminated from the game, dropping his little lucky cigarette case to the ground. And it says, when an investigator is eliminated, the remaining investigators lose the game at the end of the next investigator phase. If all investigators are eliminated, the game ends immediately. So basically we get our 1 more chance to get out. So that's done. Eugene. Eugene moves 2 spaces. 1, 2. He's not fast enough. Ha ha ha. No investigators in this space. Horror checks. Oh no. Well, against the monster within range with the highest. Well, that's just Eugene. So here we go. Horror check for Rita. He screams out again. We need to roll willpower, which is 4. She still suffers from her frayed nerves, but she gets to add 1 for the elder ward. And she gets 1 success and 1 clue. We're going to use our focus here to discard this to convert that into a success. So 2 successes, she suffers no horror. End the mythos phase. It is now Rita's turn. She is getting out of there. The priest sacrificed himself to give her the chance. The mansion's front door is shut in front of you. The investigation is complete, if an investigator escapes the mansion with the ritual components, which she has. Investigators win the game when the investigation is complete. You can only escape if you have the ritual components unique item, escape. You throw open the door and flee into the night, carrying the proof of the Vanderbilt's heinous crimes with you. The investigation is complete. Each investigator wins the game unless an effect, such as the insane condition, specifies otherwise.
You burst through the front door of the mansion and run for your vehicle, desperately clutching the components from the ritual site. Incontrovertible evidence of the cult and proof of their connection to the disappearances. Your vehicle sputters and slides as you accelerate down the uneven drive. If you can make it to the police department alive, the cult will surely be destroyed. You smash through the gates at the end of the drive and careen out into the road, leaving the Vanderbilt estate far behind you.
Says the end. Alright. Well, we won the game, everybody. We won the game on the last chance. Thanks for watching. A couple of mistakes that I noticed. There were probably others I didn't notice, but a couple of mistakes I noticed that we were able to play through, I think, without breaking the game. So we'll count that up as our first true playthrough of Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition, and we'll count it as a win. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really, this was quite an interesting game. And it's not the easiest game to play, but it's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.